All right, guys, so here I am today. I'm going to borrow my father for a video. Big eyes. It's not all that serious. It is important, though, I think. So we got Stella right here. Stella is such a survivor. You know, she's one of the most amazing survivors I would have, or I think that we have, I would say. And so I guess I wanted to ask you, from all the comments that you've read,
Come here.
where would you rank Stella amongst the most inspirational survivors that we have? You think, because there's certain ones that have gone through like horrific things that a lot of people can relate to, and so it touches their heart a little bit extra. You know what I mean?
Okay, you mean as far as in terms of ultimate survivor? So I would say it would be by far Stella is the #1 ultimate survivor
Of all time?
of all time. Now, if what might be easier is if you give me an animal who someone might challenge.
Journey.
Okay, so Journey had physical handicaps, right?
Yes.
And some internal issues. So she was born that way. She never knew anything different. Stella, however, was born a normal dog. It was humans who abandoned her, neglected her, allowed her to be made into the bait dog that she was. So she lost complete trust in anything. Journey is kind of like when a child is born with a special need. I don't think that child, for the most part, knows it has a special need unless someone calls out to it and tells it and reminds it, hey, you got a special need. It's kind of like how we all adapt to changing ways. Someone that's born healthy but has to go through, like a soldier who has to go through a horrific experience in warfare maybe, and comes back without the use of his legs or his arms or both, and he has to learn to adapt, is harder, I think, than someone that was born unable to do those same things.
Because if you were born that way, you don't know any different. Like, different to others is just normal to you.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So she's had to overcome a lot here, and when she's still overcoming with her trust issues, and she had to overcome a whole lot physically with her physical issues.
I'm sure most of you already know, but just in case there's a few of you that don't, like, you can look at her ears right here, and then...
So she just had them packed today. That's why they're all oily. She has ear infections, double ear infections. So we're just back from the vet where they had to actually pack them with like a Vaseline type thing to keep the medicine inside there for a week.
And then you look at her legs right here, you can see that they're terribly deformed. And so, long story short, Stella is an awful victim of animal...
Trixie, we're not
Trixie, it's not about you.
Right now.
Trixie.
She goes, I got bad habits, so who got the most bad habits? I got that one. I'm the bad habit leader. I'm the bad habit leader of the world.
Make a video about me.
That's true. Trixie, you are a bad habit leader. Get out of here with your bad habits.
Trying to hog the spotlight. No, but Stella's legs were intentionally broken, and so they've grown back deformed like this. So she's a terrible animal abuse victim. And so I think my dad's right. And I know that when I read comments in videos with Stella, like, people are very inspired by, you know, how much she's a fighter and how...
And then an LA picture. So you had her leg deformities. You have obviously the physical, but think about how when we found her, how she was hairless and how malnourished. And so there's just so many things. One thing about Journey, besides the fact that her mom didn't give her the right colostrum at the onset of her, it was within a couple of days that she was just receiving, you know, amazing care in the form of bottle-fed baby goat. Any other animals you can think of that someone might want to put up against Stella?
I'm trying to think.
It's easier for me to say why I think Stella.
It's an interesting subject matter because you have a lot of funny stories. Like, you have Ivy, like, stealing a baby from Imogene and all kinds of crazy things that happen, but they're not really relatable to people because most viewers haven't stolen somebody else's baby. I know it sounds silly.
So, Ivy was wrapped up in a barbed wire fence and had been there for several days, so very dehydrated. Imogene survived Hurricane Harvey flooding, whereas all those other cows and horses who were a lot higher in stature didn't. So there's a lot of surviving stories here, survivor stories.
I guess my point was that like some of the stories aren't as relatable as others. So like the Ivy thing was funny and it's crazy, but it's not exactly a relatable story that people can sit there and be like, I had something like that. But I think with Journey's case, people that might have been born with a abnormality, in Stella's case, if they were a victim of somebody mistreating them, I think that's why it's so inspirational, is because people can relate to it. And there's even from the comments, I've even seen a sense of, if this animal can do it, then I should be able to do it too.
Yeah, and so I would also clarify that with the Ivy story, you're talking about the funny side of the story of where she literally took over someone else's baby because she wanted the baby so bad.
Yeah,
that's the funny part of her story. But but it's not the part of her actual survival story of being found wrapped up in a barbed wire fence. So she had to overcome a lot. So in the video Saving Ivy, but don't forget there's also been lots of surviving stories. How about Rolando? How about when he lost use of his legs? Mm-hmm. Remember that one?
He had to undergo intense physical therapy here at home to regain the use of his legs. That's crazy.
That's a pig who has already just the weight and I don't know, Ellie. That's a tough one. I still vote Stella though. She's amazing.
You know what would be crazy though? This is a little bit off topic, but not really. So, she's resting. But
well, you hear who else is over there surviving right now? Jolene, I'm coming.
She's like,
I ain't been fed in 24 hours and I'm hungry. I'm a survivor.
Here's a story that I would be shocked if anybody watching could relate to. Nikki Bella's survival story, how it's not the super craziest survival story, but how she got allegedly spayed. She had a
never done, yeah.
Big old scar, but they took nothing out, and next thing you know, she's pregnant. I wonder if anybody out there has had that happen where they...
there's been a lot of men who have gone in to be snipped, a human man, and end up still producing children.
Well, they warned you that.
Whoops.
Well, they warned you that like for 30 days you have to be cautious afterwards because there's still remnants of reproductive fluid in there.
I don't know.
But if there's any...
That's not survival, though. That's like a whoopsie moment.
That's why I said it was off topic, but it's still kind of funny, though, because we're talking about what people can and can't relate to. So if somebody out there has went through what Nikki Bella's went through, then that'll blow my mind.
So we got to think about Janky Jan
and
her issues. And she survived forever. How about poor little Gloria?
Oh, yeah.
The little turkey, Cornholio's first love. So there are so many amazing stories, Ellie, from here that of true survival, which is why we are called I'm a Survivor.
We're all survivors of something.
A lot of survivors here.
We're all survivors of something, right, Stella?
Hurricane Harvey survivor who came to us with his two front legs, just all of the meat scraped off all the way down to the bone. Remember that?
Yeah, Donkey Dan, that's right.
So there's quite a few survivors around here.
There'll be more to come, I'm sure.
I think that Stella is by far the one who, had she not made it, no one would have been surprised. Seriously, if she had not made it, no one would have been surprised.
Hey, we can't discount Loveland, the cat that me and Megan rescued. Kim.
Oh my God, yes.
So for those of y'all that don't know that story, to sum it up, Kim had a stray cat give birth under her house, and nobody noticed after a little while, but for whatever reason, the mother cat abandoned its babies and just left them to die. I guess that happens sometimes in nature, as awful as that is. And so by the time it was found out, there was only...
No one can hear a thing you're saying because of the wind. Try to get it real close.
I think they can. I learned to talk louder, and the wind it's not as bad if I talk close to the camera. But
hi, sweetie. Hey, baby.
No, but Kim called us and said that she had found 2 baby kittens that were on the brink of death. The mother had abandoned them, and they were not likely to make it. And so me and Megan rushed over there to see what we could do. And in the short time it took us to drive over to Kim's house, one of the cats already passed. And so all we had left was one more to try and save. And I literally think it would have been minutes. If it had been minutes longer, that she wouldn't have made it. But we did everything we could. We got some baby bottles, some kitty formula, whatever. I forgot exactly all that we did, but we went gung-ho. We saved that kitten's life, and that's our little Loveland today. Our sweet little Loveland. So she's a survivor too. But no, on that note, like, there is a lot of survivors out there. So y'all let me know in the comment section who you think is the greatest survivor of all.
Or if they have their own stories of an animal they know from another channel or from another video they've seen.
Or if they've lived with one, or if they've rescued one. Some people have
rescued one.
Yeah.
I love hearing those kind of stories.
Yeah. In the comments, y'all share with us everything you got. Who's the best survivor here, and who's the best survivor that you personally know of?
That would be interesting reading.
Yep. Well, that sounds good. All right, guys. Well, with that said, I hope y'all enjoyed. Y'all be sure to let me know in the comments what kind of stuff you guys want to see. Hope you all have a great day. And as I always say, your boy Ellie out.